know I've been around and doing it, but now it's my time to shine and start proving it. I'm losing it, I'm moving it. The city is where I'm made, Bostonian flow, I kick it in back bay. Yeah, I got game, God in a fan way. We the city of the champs, every sport we play. Spit wetter than the harbor, yeah, I'm flowing like the Charles. I be speeding on this beat, call it Turnpike Miles. Yeah, it's Buku signing on, John to the Hancock, and I'm always key, I'm ready to unlock. I be doing big things, don't even have a deal, yeah, I battle through these.
Alright, welcome back everyone to the newest edition of Once a Week. I'm Billy J. Lewis, and guys, we have an incredible guest today, a friend of mine and someone that I've been able to learn under in a gym standpoint, and the conversations we've had about life can just take you with so many insights. So guys, I give you Michael Posk. He is a natural bodybuilder for the last 33 years. He's got his Posk Fitness on YouTube and the website, which I'll put at the end of this video, but I'll probably say that about 10 more times in this video. And then he's a personal trainer in Massachusetts and Rhode Island. And guys, just seeing the knowledge that he has in so many areas, I had to get him on here because I know you can take something from it. And if you're someone who's trying to get into the fitness life and you need someone to help you and train you, I assure you he's the guy for you with all the knowledge that he has.
Thank you, Billy.
So I appreciate you being here.
No, it's a pleasure. My pleasure.
Yeah. So with everything you've accomplished, I just want to take a crack at it. How did you get into the fitness world?
Oh boy, I was very young when I first started working out. Mm-hmm. This is not one of those stories where I was inactive and needed to change a lifestyle. I really got into it when I was young. I think when I was 12 years old, I started swimming.
Nice.
As like a morning exercise. So I would swim in the ocean every morning over the summer. And that kind of started me into a pattern of wanting to exercise. Mm-hmm. And then once I started to go to gyms, I started to get into a regular workout routine. I never stopped. I just kept up with it.
Yeah.
And it really was. It was really my salvation. It was a time that I could focus on myself. I loved the feeling it gave me, the endorphins. You don't have to be Mr. Olympia to get endorphins out of physical activity.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. And that was so when I started, I probably started in the weight room when I was 13.
Okay.
And my first natural bodybuilding show was when I was 17.
Gotcha.
So
yeah.
It's been a lot of years.
That's awesome. That's awesome. But starting at 17, everyone at 17 has the adrenaline going and everything.
Well, you're invincible, right?
Yeah,
you're basically immortal at 17.
Right.
You obviously know everything. So yeah, the world is your oyster.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing can go wrong.
Yeah. Did a lot of success come from the bodybuilding world?
A lot of success. I'd say I learned a lot of lessons.
Cool. Yeah.
There's many ways in life to find humility.
Yeah. Okay.
And if you're willing to learn, if you're willing to keep your mind open, keep your eyes open, your ears open, you'll always find that you have something new to learn.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I got from first weightlifting and bodybuilding.
Nice.
The guys that originally trained me for my show were three older guys, and they were Olympic powerlifters.
Okay.
So like the real Olympic style powerlifting.
Nice.
And when I say they were Olympic, they were actually in the Olympics.
Wow.
They were on the Olympic team.
Okay.
So these guys were serious, and it taught me immediately, you can't judge a book by its cover. Because you would walk into the gym, and these guys are in like the 1980s baggy sweatpants. I mean, it looked like a Rocky film, right?
Awesome.
It looked like, Sylvester Stallone just ran in from the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And, your first inclination is to look at somebody and immediately start sizing them up. Oh, this guy couldn't know too much.
Yeah.
And come to find out they're a wealth of knowledge. So, you find many ways to get humility in life. And I think you got to be humble and you got to keep learning.
Yeah, definitely. I think every single experience we have brings with it a lesson for the next experience.
Yeah.
I think it all connects.
Yeah.
Yeah. With bodybuilding and everything, do you have a lot of clientele or fitness clients come to you for bodybuilding, or do they come to you for different areas?
All different areas.
Cool.
All different athletes, people that are triathletes, some bodybuilders, some people that just want to lose weight.
Yeah.
My passion would be to try to get as many people moving as I could.
That's awesome.
So it's not really about becoming that picturesque person, you know, that posts all the pictures on Instagram.
Right.
It's more about being healthy and happy.
Exactly. That's
and
awesome.
I think, you know, and it's kind of what I try to drive through my website and the YouTube channel is that, you know, I'm not pushing people to exercise so that everybody can have a six-pack.
Right.
I just want you to feel better.
Yeah.
I want you to move better. I want you to have more confidence. I think the more you can keep moving through life, the better off you're going to be.
I agree with that. I think that's such a perfect goal to have in the fitness world and just for life in general. Like, you're right. If you keep moving, life keeps moving for that matter. You know, a lot of people sit there and they, you know, you don't have to be a fitness freak to just move, but it's incredible to just talk with people in whatever area of how much a walk can improve your life. Because you're moving, you're breathing.
Absolutely.
And when people are sitting in the home and they're not doing much at all for that matter, you see it later in life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. This has been an incredibly trying time for a lot of people.
Definitely.
You know, we just came in on a year of the lockdown.
Right, exactly.
It has affected a great many people in a lot of different ways. And that moving piece is one of them.
Yeah, definitely. And for that matter, that's, as we were talking before we put the camera on, that's the main reason why you started the YouTube channel in all. The foundation of that was, now do you want to go into that story?
Sure.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. The reason that I got into, you know, YouTube fitness was because I lost both my parents in 2019, and I watched my father degrade over a long period of time with Parkinson's, and I wasn't with him all the time, but when I was with him, I could help him move, I could help him stretch, loosen him up, give him some exercises to do, and he would greatly improve. The difficulty was when I would leave him, he wasn't motivated enough himself to continue doing it, so then it would stop. And I just thought to myself, God, if I could just keep him moving, just move, anything, what a difference his whole end of life would have been.
Right.
And it motivated me to say, you know, I've gathered a lot of knowledge over the years, still learning, and if I can share some of that and get some people moving, what a great thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
I love that. That's so perfect. It shows the driving force to why you're in the fitness field too, and why you want to help people.
Yeah.
You know, and as much as you've been in the fitness world prior to the experience with your parents a couple of years ago, but oh my goodness, just to
you live through a lot of different phases. I mean, you live when I was 15, 16 years old, I mean, it was all about looking good.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I mean, completely superficial.
Yep.
Nothing to do about health, nothing to do about anything. You know, so like I said, if you keep your mind open and you learn through life, things change.
Definitely.
You know, and you might start on a journey thinking that you know the destination.
Right.
Sometimes you sail in a different direction.
I agree with that. I completely agree with that. I think we're all supposed to get somewhere. We don't know where that is, but we're driving somewhere. Right? You know? And just all these experiences along the way. Like, you could be honed in on that goal, and then life's going to send you this way.
Totally.
Right?
Totally. And life throws you some curveballs. Definitely.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, speaking of the curveballs, like, you in the fitness world, just to throw people out there, like, you've had your set of injuries.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have had some very fun injuries.
Yeah.
I ripped my quad tendon.
Gotcha.
At a company conference.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so it was me and 400 of my closest friends.
Wow.
And I was playing beach volleyball. And, you know, for those of you that are over 45 out there, it wasn't like the Top Gun volleyball scene. This was me with a bunch of 65-year-old men, 70-year-old men.
Okay.
You know, literally just hitting a ball over a net, like nothing competitive, nothing at all. And a little hop in the sand, and it sounded like somebody hit a racquetball.
Gotcha.
My quad popped off my knee, and I went right to the ground.
Goodness.
So that's depressing. It kind of starts you over. You realize you have another journey on your hands that you didn't account for. I also I ripped this bicep. That's why it's a little shorter than the rest. That one I did in the gym. Nothing strenuous. I was just jumping up to a pull-up bar, and it peeled off and rolled up to my shoulder.
Wow. Yeah.
But the funny story about that is, at the time I was doing a lot of presenting for my company. And I tore it on a Tuesday.
Okay.
And on Sunday night, I was flying out for a 3-week tour.
Gotcha.
Where I was going to be presenting all around the world.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
And so I drove myself straight to the surgeon and said, I just ripped my bicep. And he said, well, how do you know you tore your bicep?
Yeah.
It's not there anymore.
Exactly.
It's gone. So he said, yeah, it looks like you probably did tear it. And he said, we'd like to get you into surgery next week. I said, no, we have to do it immediately.
Yeah.
So I had the surgery 2 days later on Thursday. And then on Sunday night, I flew out.
Wow.
And I did all my presenting.
I was going to say, how does that look? You know?
All around the world. Yeah.
Wow.
It was, but you know, you kind of, you do what you got to do.
Yeah.
It was my job.
Yep.
So that's what I did.
Yeah.
And then you just start rehabbing. You just start over.
Yeah.
And you try not to let it get you down.
Yeah.
You know, we talked a little bit about this before we turned the camera on, that it can be very easy to flip through YouTube channels, flip through Instagram, TikTok, whatever you're looking at, and get the impression that everybody is motivated 100% of the time. Everybody has smooth sailing, no hiccups, no walls to climb over.
Exactly.
And it's not the case. Everybody struggles. Everybody is unmotivated at times, especially the last year.
Yeah.
I would say the COVID shutdown was the biggest motivation killer I've ever felt.
Yep, I agree. Definitely.
You know, I've been working out my entire life, and I was trying to work out at home. You know, I had some dumbbells, some elastics, you know, things that I could get work done.
Yep.
And I was completely unmotivated.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be in my workout and still not getting the motivation. I'd put my music on loud, still not getting the motivation.
Yeah.
I've never felt anything like that my entire life.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine how it affected people that really weren't as active.
Exactly.
And now we're locked down.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. Like the past year, just, you know, I think for the past year, I've seen one of these videos tried to mention that to just do something.
Yeah.
And it was just so tough to do something.
Right.
Like I'm the same way. When COVID started and I had to be in the basement just doing anything I had. I think I up to 20 pound dumbbells, and
reps of 1,000.
like literally, you know, the ceiling's too small. I couldn't do pull-ups, so I was like on the ground with like a bar, trying to just do some sort of pull-up, push-ups, the whole 9 yards. But it put everyone through such a loop. But it comes back to what you said with the motivation piece, where how do people get out of that now? You know, because now COVID's transitioning out, which is great. You know. However long it takes from this point on.
Things are opening up. People are getting vaccinated.
Yeah.
You know, the worries should be less. But, you know, I had the conversation with my daughter yesterday about motivation. And, you know, it's easy to look at people like us that exercise all the time and say, oh, well, they're always motivated. But that's not the case.
Not at all.
I told my daughter, I said, you know, 8 times out of 10, I would say, I'm completely unmotivated to go work out, and I get my motivation after I get to the location, after I start doing something.
Right.
Then I feel the motivation kick in.
Exactly.
I also take some fight classes, and same thing. Sometimes the fight classes are in the evening, and I'm 49 years old, so you know, once I hit the couch, I don't want to get off.
Right.
So when I go to those classes, I am 100% not motivated. If I sit on the couch and I ask myself the question, do I feel like going and hitting something tonight? No, I definitely do not.
Right, yeah.
But you drag yourself up, you drive there, you walk in, you say hi to everybody, you smile, you laugh.
Yeah.
You start hitting something, you know, you're getting a little feedback from the person you're working with.
Right.
Before you know it, 5 minutes into it, all of a sudden you got a group going.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes the motivation comes from doing.
Exactly, yeah. I agree with that. And throw a little tidbit out there, you know, as much as he said some fight classes, he's soon to be a black belt in Krav Maga, you know, so take that and run with it. But
hopefully, unless I have another major injury.
Gotcha. But you're 100% right. It comes from doing, but you know, all it takes is just a little bit of action to start the motivation.
Yeah,
right. You being stunk on the couch, like the motivation isn't there. You're relaxing. You're fine, like hopefully done for the day. I gotta go to a class, and just getting up and getting in the car, that's the action that starts it all.
Yeah.
The second you get there, momentum starts to go.
Yeah.
So people take that and run with it, where we're not telling, like, as much, like you said, as much as we're in the gym every single day for that matter, as much as it's tough to get there, we're enjoying it, trying to better ourselves. What is something small you can do? Just like, even if, like you said, if it's going for a walk, that's an action that could start a whole new world for you.
Yeah.
And something
And
small.
just for a visual for you people at home, you watch my YouTube channel or anything like that, it looks like, I'm very active, I bounce around. When I get off the couch to go to a Krav Maga nighttime class, this is what it looks like.
Creaks and everything. I just heard the creak.
Yeah, it's like I'm 65, 75 years old.
I gotcha.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't always look pretty.
Yeah.
But sometimes just that motion of just start the ball rolling.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it takes. And, before we put the camera on too, like you mentioned that conversation you had with your daughter, that's the message you tried to give with her, where truthfully, motivation comes and goes.
Oh,
but if you can make a commitment and just little by little, you do something here, there, next week for that matter, but you start some sort of a commitment, that motivation will get you off the couch more and more.
Absolutely. And I would take that one step further to say that the progress you make from drops in the bucket means a heck of a lot more than the leaps and bounds you can take in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So if somebody says to me I lost 10 pounds in 2 weeks, I'm like, oh, that's great, but
right.
Can you maintain it?
Exactly.
What are you doing that is so drastic? You need to make little changes, drops in a bucket, so that you're just gradually getting to where you want to be. And then the results stay, the lifestyle sticks, all of it, is in harmony.
Yeah, exactly. No, I completely agree with that. And it's so cool too to see, like you said, the little drops in the bucket, how, yes, over time that bucket gets filled with whatever you want, whatever you need.
Yeah.
But it's so cool to see the progress that comes. I'll say this, you do not see the progress that comes from those little drops.
No.
Other people will.
No.
Right?
I don't see it either. I mean, I actually said this to somebody today in the gym. I've been working out the majority of my life, but it's been so slow over the course of time.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I work out at all.
Yep.
So like a lot of times when I'm walking around, I don't think people look at me like I work out.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like I'm still that skinny kid.
I get that. I completely get that.
So a lot of times the drops in the bucket, you don't feel it. And I do get a lot of times when I talk to people about this, there's a little bit of a disappointment. Like, well, yeah, everybody wants instant gratification. Yep. Everybody wants, you don't want to wait more than 5 minutes at the drive-through. Right. You get it on Amazon, you want it the next day. Right. And when I tell them, I have a lot of people that, let's take an extreme example. If you're looking to compete, I will tell people that the most I want you to lose is 2 pounds a week. Okay. No more. Any more and it's too much. Yeah. And, I get a lot of like, I was hoping to drop faster. And you're like, well, 2 pounds a week. Right. That's 100 pounds in a year. Yeah, seriously. That's, if you just stay consistent. Yeah. And the difference is when you do something like that and you stay consistent, it's much easier to keep the change. Definitely. I agree with that completely. Yeah. I mean, obviously, when you compete, you're very dieted down, so you don't want to stay there. Yep. But it's easier to maintain a healthy body weight after. Definitely, yeah. It's funny, too. Now that you're saying all this, it's running through my head all the gradual changes that I've made in the fitness world just as much. I can remember starting working out back in freshman in high school and go work out with the guys. We think we're sweating, we're killing it. Oh, yeah. And then we go to Wendy's. And that would carry on throughout high school, and then little gradual changes. Go to college, lifting heavier weight, thinking we're killing it. Go to the dining hall and just have as much food as we could, and it's just then you get out and it's like. But you're also young. You're young. So when you have a bowl of pasta, it's about this. 100%. Yeah, exactly. It's only about this big now. this big. It's now. A little bit. When you get to my age, a little bit smaller. But, the gradual change over time from where I started to where I am now,
I'm like you, where I don't see it. To me, I'm just making these changes, eating healthier, pushing more weight, trying to adjust my workouts to achieve something better for myself. I'm in that mindset where I have to do this, I'm gonna get it done. For the first time, this is the coolest thing, for the first time 2 days ago, someone interrupted my workout, came up to me and goes, hey man, I gotta ask you, you're a big guy in here, you're pushing around, like, are you on steroids? I was like, oh, no one's ever asked me
thank you.
or thought of me being on steroids. And I'm not on steroids. I don't think of myself as being that big of a person. But to someone else, it shows that the hard work has paid off to the point where it's like he's got to be doing something.
Yeah.
So, but to me, it's funny. After that happened, I like Snapchatted my friends. I was like, "You'll never guess what finally happened." And, just to be a joke.
Badge of honor.
No, 100%. But it's so cool to see where I started. I was an overweight kid to being very skinny after probably not trained the right way, to gaining weight again, to now trying to navigate my world and being a fit person, and then to see someone else go it's inspiring for that matter.
Right.
That shows a gradual change over time that drops in the bucket to where now the bucket's a little bit more filled, and other people are asking
people notice
how, So it just shows how over time, I completely agree with you, the gradual change, you may not see it, but you're creating such an impact for yourself, for everyone around you, your family, your friends, other random people that may come up to you in the gym and ask you questions. But it is so cool to see how far you can come without even knowing it.
Yeah.
Just by these little tiny steps along the way.
It's the consistency.
Exactly.
Show up.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the motivation will come. Some days it won't. It comes and goes. It's funny being a motivational speaker and trying to spark people with this. I tell everyone straight up, motivation will come and go, but what you do lasts forever.
Yeah.
And when you can realize what you're doing and putting in place that lasts forever, you just gotta look back at the trail. If you ever get stuck, motivation's there. It's turn around. Oh wait, I overcame that. I came this far. I made this change. I did this. I got this result.
True.
I'm just gonna do it again.
Yep.
And it's so cool how much it leads to, and all it takes is that first step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no matter how much you get knocked down, just don't stop.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
If you have to crawl, just crawl.
Yeah. 100%. And I want to carry this message into another topic, kind of on the other end. And I think it kind of plays so well into it. Before we put the camera on, we addressed an addictive mindset.
Oh, yeah.
And and I think this is going to be very powerful for people because there's so much that can go to it. A lot of people look at addictions in life, no matter what they are, that they're always terrible. And then we started talking before we put the camera on, and where addictions, yes, there's a lot of addictions in the world that are bad. They're detrimental to you. They could hurt you, and whatever it may be. But every single person in the world has an addictive mindset with whatever it is, whether it's something bad or it's a goal, a fitness world. It could be me pursuing business stuff. It could be anything under the sun for you. We become addicted as human beings, and we're pursuing our goals, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing.
No, it really doesn't. People, obviously, as you pointed out, some addictions are very detrimental. And unfortunately, in today's day and age, with the types of drugs that are out there, it can be horrifying what can happen very quickly. But you should be aware if you have an addictive personality. I come from a long line of alcoholics on my father's side. It seemed like drinking problems were just a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
So I knew I had this. I knew I had this addictive personality. I could feel it. I didn't have an off switch.
Yeah.
So I knew I had to channel myself in good ways.
Yeah.
We had this conversation before the camera, but when I first competed, I went into natural shows. The gentleman that helped train me said, we'll train you as long as you stay natural. And I said, sure. I wasn't planning on it.
Yeah.
And but you get into this mindset. You're around it all day long, and everybody's get big. Oh, that looks better. Oh, I want to look like that. Ooh. So after I competed when I was 17, I did do steroids. I did 3 cycles over 6 months. And I quickly realized that if I continued down the path, that would be the thing that killed me, because
yeah.
I didn't have an off switch.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put limits on myself. And so I know that I have that addictive personality, and that's why I train the way I do.
Yeah.
It's my thing. I go and I try to improve myself every day. I try to do something.
Right.
I picked up Krav Maga, and I want to continue. I want to get better at it. I want to polish it.
Yeah.
So just because somebody has an addictive personality, you automatically think that you're broken, but you're not. I would say there isn't an Olympic athlete out there. There isn't a musician that spends 8 hours in a studio playing the same song 500 times in a row, trying to make it a little bit better.
Exactly.
Those are all addictive personalities. So you can use a label and limit yourself, or you can recognize that you have potential to go in one direction or the other, and you just have to pick the right direction.
Exactly. 100%. Yeah. And it's true. And that's why I wanted to bring it up now, after we just addressed the little steps that it takes. Because a lot of people look at the little steps, or they could look at the fitness world or whatever goal you have, and they could limit themselves by saying, like, no, I don't want to be like this person. I don't want to be like that. But you're surrounded by a world that is trying to better themselves, and the only way to better yourselves is to consistently take those small steps, which could be an addictive personality to some. But if it's done the right way, oh my goodness, there's you mentioned instant gratification earlier, and the first thing that comes to mind is instant gratification and Instagram, and how so many people are instantly trying to find something on Instagram just to pass the time.
Yeah.
Everyone wants it right now, but we only look up to the people that, for years, over time, whatever it may be, put the efforts in to consistently make it last.
Yeah.
And if we can do that with our own personal goals, health, life, family, friends, everything, if you can take this personality mindset that is in every single one of us and direct it to something good for you, oh my goodness, the door that can open up. If you do it consistently, but the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I usually tell people that are starting, whether it's diet, fitness, life, just do one day at a time.
Yeah.
Just make today good.
Exactly.
And then when tomorrow comes,
100%.
do the same thing.
Yeah.
Just eat good today.
Yeah. Right?
Just don't have the fries.
Yeah. Right? Exactly. It's tough. It's very tough.
I'm gonna tell you, people want you to believe that this is a lot more complicated than it is. Most everybody out there knows what they should eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
And people are going to tell you, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that. No. Eat good food. Don't eat too much of it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna shock everybody out there, and don't be hungry. You should be eating enough that you make it to your next meal and you're not hungry.
Yeah.
If you're hungry when it comes time for dinner, like, oh, I'm starving.
Right. Yeah.
You did something wrong.
Yeah.
Throw in a protein shake or a snack at 3 o'clock in the afternoon so that you're not hungry at dinner.
Yeah.
When you're dieting, you should not be hungry. Even when I compete, I'll drop 20 pounds from where I am right now, and I won't be hungry.
Gotcha. Wow.
I'm not going to say that I'm happy. You know what I mean? Because you've cut out all simple carbs. It's
right.
That's a ridiculous diet. That's not a healthy diet. But I'm not hungry.
Yeah. Yeah.
As soon as you're hungry, your body starts working against you. So, yeah, it's not that complicated. Just don't have the potato chips, don't have the fries.
Right. Yeah.
And people laugh, but it's like, if you just start drinking water and do a little portion control, you'll probably start losing weight immediately.
I agree to that 100%. Yeah, it's crazy how easier it is than people make it out to be.
Well, people make money off of it.
It's true.
I mean, these are billion-dollar industries.
Yeah.
They have to make you believe that you can't do it on your own.
It's true. Yeah.
So.
Right? And then you realize you can, and it's like, wait, what?
always look at who's making the money.
Yeah, that's awesome. I agree to that.
Yeah.
And it's funny just to add a little more piece to that, where literally take it one moment at a time, one meal at a time, whatever it is.
Totally.
in life, I mentioned this in a couple videos already, but in life, it really falls in line so much that all you have is the now, this one specific moment. We have this moment of us talking, filming this video right now. Whatever happens next. We don't know what it'll be. We can't go back to the past to fix it. All you have is the moment that you're in. And if you take what Mike just said, where if you're having a meal and you make the decision that's like, all right, this one meal, this breakfast, this lunch right now, I'm going to eat healthy. Check it off the list.
Yeah, you did it.
Right? And then if dinner, go through that same process again. This one meal, I'm going to eat healthy. Check it off the list.
Yep.
You're going to feel great after that. You may not have had the fries, the burger, the pizza, and everything that may sound incredible at the time, but your body will start to feel better. And you're starting a whole new lifestyle for yourself that adds more years to your life, that adds so much greatness to your life. And it's incredible what can happen by just focusing on the one moment, just to connect it to further and deeper. 90, or I don't want to say 90% of the world, we'll say half the world practices like meditation, all this kind of stuff, and the whole spiritual aspect. If you look at meditation, the basis of it is to focus on the breath, because the breath is the one thing that is in the now. You can't breathe in the past. You can't breathe in the future. You only have the one breath you just had, which is truly centered to the now moment. And if you incorporate that to what you're working on now, for school, for fitness habits, for business, for family, friends, whatever it is, if you focus on just that one moment, it's incredible how much joy you bring into your life elsewhere. It's something. But that goes deeper, more than just the fitness piece, but it carries over to exactly what you just said. Yeah.
It's interesting that you bring that up. And by the way, I had no idea you were so deep.
Trying,
That was pretty impressive. But no, the breathing is so important, and the meditation, and I'd venture to say everybody out there at some point, you meditate without realizing it.
Yeah, definitely.
You get into, people like say the zone, or your mind drifts away.
Yeah, daydreaming for that matter.
You're not thinking about the bills. You're not thinking about when I'm going to pick up the kids, or what sports are this weekend, or any of that stuff.
Right.
All of a sudden, you just melt away.
Yeah.
A lot of times you don't even realize it. A lot of times you're not conscious of it.
Yeah.
But it's important to give yourself those times.
Yeah, exactly. I think, sadly, that was never taught in the society we live in, American society. But the more, I don't want to say I'm new to this area, but I'm trying to incorporate that more in my days, where you don't worry about the other things that need to be handled. You take the stressors, you put them over there. You take the anxiety, you put them over there. You take all the tasks you have to get done for the day, you put them over there. And you just have that one moment. I don't care if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You don't have to go into a meditative state, but give yourself 5 to 10 minutes a day. Just
peace.
Exactly. It's crazy how the rest of your day, the rest of your life from that 5 minutes on is so much better. And I think we're taught in society that you need to be hustling, going, grinding, trying to get to the goals and everything, which, yes, we just talked about trying to do one step at a time, but we're talking about doing it in a process, not pounding the pavement every single moment.
In your meditation, a lot of times we have a picture of meditation of, eyes closed, slow breathing.
Right.
Meditation can happen at any point. You could be exerting yourself to the highest level.
Yeah.
And if everything else closes around you and you're just focused on that one thing, laser focused, all you have is that and your breathing, that's a meditation.
It's true. Yeah, it's 100%. It's crazy you bring that up too, because now that you mention it, a lot of people that excel in sports or at their craft, I'll just say that, their craft, they get to that, they talk about it, they get to that zone, and it's just them and the ball, or them and the guitar, or them and the book, whatever it is. They're in that moment.
I mean, if you look at some of the greatest athletes out there, like if you look at Edelman, like when he's going up to catch that ball, there's nothing around. I mean, if you look in slow motion, I mean, you can see his eyes. They are on that ball. There's nothing around him. And he might be about to get killed by some guy that's 250 pounds.
Right.
But there's nothing else.
Exactly. Yeah, that's huge. And I'll mention another one. Cody Bryant, who passed away last year at this point. I started studying up on, as much as I was a huge fan of Kobe growing up, I started studying up on him and his daily routine, his habits, because he became one of the greatest basketball players ever. Yeah. It's like, all right, what did he do? Like, how did he get to that level? He'd start every day, wake up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. He'd start every day with a meditation and then go to the gym for 3:30 a.m. And then he'd start doing everything. But if you think of all the moments where he consistently excelled in a game, right, he would explain that when he's taking that foul shot, he wasn't thinking about him missing it. He wasn't thinking about anything else. It was just him, the ball, and getting by the defender. And that's it. So he's focused. He's taking that meditative process into that game to where nothing else is there, just as you described Edelman. He had one of the greatest careers ever because he could get to that zone like that because he practiced it. Right. Exactly. It's crazy to see what could happen when you bring everything back to the now moments. So you watching this video right now, you're here, you're taking in everything that Mike and myself are telling you. The next moment, when we end this video, the now, what are you gonna do? It could be you sitting on the couch. It could be you enjoying yourself. It's a Saturday, it's a Sunday, whatever day it is for you, and you just enjoy yourself. I love it. Take that now moment into everything. And if it becomes a now moment where it's like, you know what, I'm gonna spend the next moment excelling at what I want, and that's just writing your goals down. That's just writing your dream down. That's just writing down a fitness plan. That's writing down Mike's YouTube so you can go check it out and reach out to him if you need support with it. But, spend these now moments. Don't worry about the future. Don't worry about the past, about what happened. You can change everything right now, and that's all it takes. Yep. Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, the funny thing about stress, whenever you're stressed out about something, you're not actually doing anything.
It's exactly.
You're not actually doing anything to help fix it. So yeah. It really is wasted energy.
Yeah, I completely agree.
But yeah, and even just the breathing. Yeah. 5 seconds in, hold it for a second, 3 seconds out. Yeah. Just play with it,
Exactly. It seems so simple, and yet it opens a huge door. No.
It's the fighting actually taught me a lot about breathing.
Nice.
Because for some reason your natural instinct is as soon as you start hitting something, you hold your breath. So you get the super tough guys. Yeah. As soon as they start hitting, you only last a very short period of time.
I believe it.
Hitting and holding your breath.
Yeah.
So you learn to hit and breathe. Every time you hit, you breathe. Wow. And what's interesting about it is I've had times where your heart rate starts to get up to a point where you feel your breathing getting out of control. Like I'm gonna pass out. I can feel my breathing's out of control. You can mentally slow it down, and you'll come back to normal. Yeah. If you just slow it down, take deeper breaths. Right. The breathing it's an amazing thing. Yep. Yeah.
It is. I think it's the one connection we have to something deeper. Yeah. And that's, I'm just going to throw that fact out there, and you look into it. How much breathing is so connected to so much more in life. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. But, Mike, I really appreciate you being on, and just as much as we started talking about fitness and we took into so many different areas, you bring so much to the table. And that's why I wanted to get you on once a week, because if there's any clients or someone wants to reach out to you, you bring it all to the table. And so they can get so much from you. So I really appreciate you being here.
I'm pretty much an open book.
Exactly, right? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I learned early in my career that I didn't want to sell information. I wanted to give it away. Yeah. And luckily we live in a society today where you can actually give away information and benefit from it.
Yeah, definitely.
So, my goal is to just touch as many people as I can.
Yeah, that's awesome.
With information.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Like the secret to living is giving. Yeah. Right? Exactly.
No, I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
No, I appreciate you having me on. It was excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Is there any lasting message you want to leave with them?
I would just say if, take a listen to what we talked about. We talked about a lot of different areas today. We really just scratched the surface on a lot of different areas today. I think a lot of people are gonna have questions about, well, let's talk more about the motivation or, how do you get yourself out of a slump? I'm in a slump, how do I get out? Right. These are all big topics. we could go deeper into those things. I would say
Definitely.
if there's anything that strikes you personally, more information, leave some comments.
Yeah, exactly.
Billy and I are close. We can schedule another time and
definitely
delve into
love it. That'd be
some
perfect.
deeper topics.
Right? Exactly. 100%. Take that and run with it, guys. Like whatever questions, put them down below.
And if you want me to bring the pads, throw them on Billy.
Right? Let's go for it. Practice my breathing while going into this.
Ouch.
Exactly. Just hearing what he's been through, I have to give it a try. But guys, I thank you so much for tuning in. Like this message, hit that thumbs up button, share it to someone that you feel this could impact. If you were watching this at any time and one person, no matter who it is, popped in your head, that's a clear-cut sign to you that they need to hear this just as much and they need to be impacted. Share it to them. Please hit the subscribe button. That number is going up week by week, and we want to spread them to more and more people. Please subscribe. Guys, I'm going to put Mike's information at the end of this video right in the credits so you can check it out. You can go right to his stuff. But, Mike, thank you for tuning in.
No, my pleasure. Thanks, Billy.
Awesome. If you or anyone you know needs a life coach or someone to help you with the stuff that we talked about today, go to BillyGLifeCoaching.com, set up a free consultation with me, and I'll be right there for you. Have a good one, guys.
You know I've been around and doing it, but now it's my time to shine and start proving it. I'm losing it.